Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the final stream for End Youth Homelessness, the Gaming for Good event. My name is Chris. I will be your DM for today, and this is the final part in our Brindlewood Bay mystery. You can find me via Catharsis Jelly across most of the internets. I run a podcast called Rough Sketch Podcast, and I co-found a thing called Pride Comic Arts Festival. That's all my plugs out the way. What we will do is we will quickly have a chat we'll quickly meet our Mavens once again. And then we will have a quick chat about what happened last time, about things that our Mavens have achieved, and discuss what the theorized role is going to look like, because they are 5 clues deep into this mystery, and that's very exciting for me. And we left it on a bit of a cliffhanger. So let's start as we always do. Top left, that's Grace O'Hara. Hello, Grace, aka JC. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. My name is JC, and my pronouns are they, them. I'm a musician and an artist, and I'm the dungeon master for a big campaign called Adventures in Capital. And I'm playing Grace, who is like if Columbo was a wee nanny from Northern Ireland.
Nice. And as you may be able to see, like down in the bottom of our stream, down there somewhere, JC made us a beautiful picture of our Mavens, which I was flabbergasted about, and I was like, "What? People can draw? How's that work?" Because I can't. Well, I do, but badly, on purpose, because I no other choice. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's move on. Hello, Bloodwin.
Hello, how are we doing today?
Lovely.
Oh,
Sorry.
Good. Yes, hi, I'm Meg, and I'm joining from the Explorers of Elsewhere channel, alongside Lane, actually. We're both from the Explorers of Elsewhere, and today I'm playing Blothwyn Jones, as I have been playing since we started this little campaign. And yeah, I'm very much excited. And also a little bit sad to sort of see the end of things today. You know, I've been really enjoying it over the last week. So yeah, but yeah, mostly excited to see what's in store.
There's nothing to stop us, like, picking it up next year and seeing what's happened to our Mavens.
The Mavens 1 year later.
Well, it doesn't have to be a year later. We can time jump, but yeah, like we can play with that. Thank you very
Go back
much.
in time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Megan. Appreciate that. Let's go around the corner one more time and meet Sandra Stokes, aka Jeff.
Oh, that's me. Hi, I'm Jeff, he, him. I'm a public servant and general geek. As you probably tell in the background games and shit on my wall. I am playing Sandra Stokes. If Kath from Kath and Kim was a Brummie. And I'm looking forward to solving this mystery.
Excellent. We'll go around one more time and say hello to Teresa McIntyre.
Hi, that's me.
Hey.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lane. I'm playing Teresa McIntyre, the feisty old Nazi killer. I'm also technically joining from Explorers of Elsewhere, which sounds weird to say, but
Hey.
I'm the newest person, I think.
Stuff happens in a week.
Yeah. I'm on Twitter at Line the Order, and I'm also working on a expansion to the World of Darkness completely solo.
Ooh, exciting.
Called Harpy the Dominion.
Ooh. I have no idea what any of that is, but it sounds exciting. That's my knowledge out the way. So now that we've re-met our Mavens, what we'll do is we'll quickly talk about the theorized move, which is what we're all gearing towards. The theorized move is there is nothing in Brindlewood Bay that kind of tells me, the DM or the keeper, who did it. It's really up to our Mavens to decide who did it. This is why the clues that I've been giving them have been missing information. So, for instance, they have one of the clues, which is a guest list for an upcoming Krause family party with one name conspicuously crossed out. That is, I originally gave them the wrong name because I just read it wrong, and then I made sure that I corrected that. So they can use these clues in any way, shape, or form to try and solve the mystery. The more clues they incorporate into their theorize move, then the more bonuses they will get to their dice roll. At the moment, their dice roll is set to whatever it is, -6. And for every clue that they get, it will go down to -5, -4, -3, so on and so forth. So at some point during the next couple of hours, we will decide that we're ready to do a theorize. And then we'll just have a freewheeling discussion about why, like, could you explain this clue? Why does this clue work? Like, why does it relate to suspect X, Y, or Z? And as long as you can all come to a consensus, then we can decide who did it and find out what happens. Does that make some sense?
Yeah.
Good, good. If not, we will we will discover it kind of in the moment, but that's roughly what's happening. So tell us about your clues, Maven, and who do you have as suspects?
So clue number 1 that we got was we sort of rummaged around on. Oh no, we got a note that Albert, the sort of patriarch who has been potentially murdered, his watch was set to the wrong time when he was found.
Indeed.
That's clue number 1.
That's clue number 1.
Clue number 2, we gather that there was a paternity test that called into question one of the children of the immediate children of Albert.
Clue number 3, anyone?
Clue 3 was we spoke to the butler, and he said that he had cleaned up the remains of a shattered valuable vase from the lounge of the yacht where the family were previously congregated to have a drink.
It does. It might matter that it was a family heirloom. It does have family heirloom listed in the clue, and maybe I forgot to mention that, so I will correct that. Clue number 4.
We had a cheeky look at the youngest daughter's phone.
Yes.
And she had some email receipts for some extravagant purchases.
Yes. This is in your list as piles of receipts for extravagant purchases. Just because of the way that you received it, it made more contextual sense to be emails rather than everything else. So I think that's all 5.
One last one.
Oh, one last one, yes.
The guest list was missing conspicuously missing somebody. Also was crossed out. Somebody whose name was crossed out.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes, a guest list of an upcoming family Krause party with one name conspicuously crossed out. And who do we suspect? Like, who are all of you like looking at in their entirety? Who are you like, maybe it's them, maybe it's them, maybe it's them?
I think sort of someone said, or a couple of you said last time, that it could be Etienne. And I like that theory that maybe it's Etienne, and maybe even Etienne's actually the father of one of the Krause children. And actually, that would explain quite nicely why the daughter, the eldest daughter, is, has those receipts for extravagant purchases. Maybe she found out that one of her siblings wasn't actually biologically her father's.
Maybe.
And someone's been trying to buy her off.
And what if that was the oldest daughter who has the children, and she doesn't want her own children to not inherit any of the family wealth? So together, Etienne and, is it Sarah? I think is the oldest daughter.
Yes, Sarah, Sara. I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm going to say Sarah. But Etienne is definitely on the list of suspects. Who else is on the list of suspects?
See, I'm going to just come back to Etienne quickly. I think the Krauses buying him a boat was the sort of, oh, you saw something, did you? Oh, here's a boat. You didn't see it anymore, did you?
That
Sort of.
yeah, that boat was bought some time ago. But yes,
Yep,
like
still.
he's definitely in their pockets, so to speak. Any other suspects? So we have Etienne, poor old Etienne. Oh,
I reckon Alison probably could have done it.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
That whole boo-hoo, woe is me thing last time.
Well, he's found out that one of her kids is not his, or he was about to find that out.
Yeah.
And
that might have caused them.
She seemed concerned that his death was inconvenient to her charity work.
Yeah.
And I think if you're planning to kill someone, then making it look incredibly inconvenient to you might be a good way to approach it.
I love the suspicious mind. It's so good. So good.
Why would I kill him? It would be bad for me.
Yeah.
And the butler cleaned up some evidence.
So the butler's on the list?
Also, potentially he was the only one that wasn't drinking.
Yes.
Because we know he's sober.
Yeah. The butler's on the list. Any of the kids on the list?
They're on it, but I'm not. My eyes haven't fallen to them yet. But then
we need to have a wee word with them.
Yeah.
Maybe whoever it is that isn't the child of Albert, maybe it was them though. If they got wind that they were about to be cut out of the will because they weren't actually his biological child.
Yeah.
Or it was just a burst of emotion.
Or the children of Sarah caught wind, and I don't know how old her children are actually. Do we know how old her children are? Sarah's children? Are they too young? They say too young. 13-year-olds kill, I gather, these days.
I think it's listed.
Okay.
Are they here?
No, they are not here. They are in Boston still.
Yeah, I thought so.
They are Porsche, Mercedes, and Lambo.
That's it, yeah. Okay, so it probably wasn't. Well, yeah, definitely. Well,
those ridiculous it wasn't names. One of them. Great. So that roughly sums up who's on the potential finger pointy list. We'll do our last little bit of admin, and our last little bit of admin is we'll go around and we'll just ask our players whether they think that they achieved any of their goals. And if they do, I will give them a little XP bump, but it won't matter for this game. But I think it's just fun to do. So let's start with JC, aka Grace. Grace, we didn't solve the mystery as yet, so that one we can skip over. Did you secretly undermine the authority of a local official?
I mean, the local official that we've been undermining is like a teenage boy, so it's not that difficult.
But I would still count it. That's just me.
Yeah.
Great. I will give you a little XP tick. And did you share a memory of a late family member?
I feel like she does speak about her late husband a lot. Maybe not a specific memory as of yet.
So that might be still in your goal list for today, perhaps.
Yeah. Maybe if I need to put the crown of the queen on at some point, I can do it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There.
Good one to do. Moving on, we will move off to Megan and Bloodwin, or Brothwin, should I say. So we didn't solve the mystery. Did you behave like a woman half your age?
I mean, I tried to get into TikTok, but I don't think that's half my age. More like a woman quarter of my age. So I don't know if that counts.
It counts if you think it counts. That's the thing. It's like I think the group are agreeing, and so that's good enough for me. I'm not like a massive.
What you don't know is Blothwyn, right, has this thing percolating in her mind, right? She's gonna, she's gonna join TikTok, and she's gonna bring her crafts across the nation, across the world, through TikTok. She's gonna become the first TikToking granny of Brindlewood Bay.
It's a very specific niche, but I support her.
Formerly Swansea, maybe a long time ago. Who knows? Or wherever. Yeah. And then your other question is, did you share wisdom with a young person?
I honestly can't remember. What did I do? I spoke to... I don't think so.
You were trying to, I remember, you were trying to give him some advice about his voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I recall now. I told the younger Peterson that if he smoked a joint every night and took a dram of whiskey, he'd probably sort out his voice problem.
Officer Peterson, who talks like this. He's a very
that's the one.
Well, I will give you that. I will tick that box for you. Because I like that. I think it's great. And you tried to belittle Emily as well, the computer nerd kid of one of the Krauses, but she wasn't really receptive to anything. Moving around the corner, we will go to Jeff and Sandra Stokes. Your questions are, did you behave like a woman half your age?
Unless having a cheeky fag at the age of 70 counts, which I don't think it does. I don't think I did, actually. If anything, I kept offering people cups of tea, which is probably twice my actual age.
No, I like it.
So I don't think I met that.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter. There's still time. And did you dote on someone?
I didn't. I was going to have a go with Etienne. But I don't think I really got round to it from what I remember.
I think the little cozy moment you had with Grace was very doting.
Oh, I was thinking doting being a bit more saucy, but if people want to count, I don't know. Let me look up the definition of the word dote.
Rules lawyering already.
Exactly.
I'm glad other people are rules lawyering and not me. This is
here we go. Oh, actually, it could even
be... To give a lot of love or attention to someone or something.
Yeah, be extremely and uncritically fond of somebody. I think I did a bit of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you did a lot about that.
I will tick the box.
It actually has an older meaning as well, an archaic meaning, being silly or feeble-minded, which I just personify regardless of being Sandra. So I'll go with that one.
Great. So maybe you should try and behave like a woman half your age this session. Just have a go. But don't feel like you have to. Just it might come up. And then we will check in with Lane and Teresa. Teresa, did you show someone that you've still got it?
If intimidating a child counts.
There was some intimidation. Yeah.
If intimidating a child counts, absolutely. If not, I don't think so.
I'm happy to tick it. Like I don't hear any kind of negotiation problems from the group. So
I'll take that then.
Yeah, you showed that kid.
Yeah, I mean, you have a history of doing so. So showing that you can still do it, I think that's very valid. And then, did you behave like a woman half your age?
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe that's a goal that you haven't looked for today. Let's have a think about that.
I will try.
So that's all of our admin done. And last we left off, Bloodwind was spouting about reminding herself that this particular scenario was like a mystery of a book that I wrote down is in my notebook, but somewhere else. So reminded her of a book that's a Robin Masterson mystery, and that is a mechanic that forces me, the DM, to put whatever came out of Megan's mouth into the game.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no, this is great. And you were just kind of pulling at a large book on a bookshelf, and I said it feels heavier than what it is, than what you think it should be. Now then, do we want to go and resolve what's happening in the other room first of all, because you wanted people to be together to see what's behind this book, or should we resolve that first? It's entirely up to you, or all of you, should I say?
I think other room first, because then we can have it kind of all meeting back up together, and then
just as we walk through the door.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we catch back up with, I think it was Grace and Sandra, who were talking to Alison Krause. And Alison seemed quite bothered that her husband had died, but not because he's dead, but because he's inconvenienced her. I think that's roughly where we left it. Over to you guys.
I think we'd given her a nip of barley wine,
yes.
And you had got some. I think you'd got the details out from her. That's the party list. Somebody was crossed off.
Yes,
Grace.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm just have to try and remember how to do a Brummie accent now. Bear with me one second. Now, Grace. We should leave this poor woman alone and catch up with the ladies, or do you have any more questions?
Yeah, maybe just one more thing, Mrs. Krause. So I'm kind of interested in this wee gathering that you had in the hours before your husband's accident, when you was all gathered drinking.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, Albert was, it was all a bit. How can I put this? It was all a bit heated.
It was heated, so it was.
Yeah.
I'm from a big Irish family, so I understand that when you get together and have a drink, there's sometimes altercations.
And I would like you to make a medal move, if you are okay with that, JC, and we will find out if you get a clue from this.
Oh.
I got 6.
Okay. So I can't give you the clue unless you want to put on a crown. So that is a complete fail. My next move would be to tell you what's going to happen and what will go wrong. And then you can decide whether you want to put on a crown or not and boost it, and I will probably give you a condition because of your failure. So she kind of takes in this information from you, and you could see her face like change and just become like snarling. She's like, who do you think we are? We're not heathens like all of the rest of the people. We're not simpletons. Who the hell do you think you are coming onto my boat? Get out. And she picks up a glass and throws it in your general direction.
Oh, now calm down, love. Nothing called for that.
So
I think you've had a bit too much barley wine.
In fact, it was it may have been the glass with the barley wine. And because it's a failure, basically something bad happens. And the bad thing that's happening is that a piece of glass is being thrown at you.
I'm going to jump in the way of this glass to cover, using my youthful spring in my step and acting half my age. I'm gonna jump to try and kind of protect Grace from the flying shards.
Or Grace, you have an option of putting on a crown.
Okay. Yeah, I might put on the crown of the queen.
Okay. Great.
Does it have to be relevant to the current situation, or is it just
not at all? It's a memory.
Okay.
It's something that happened in Grace's past that maybe the other Mavens already know about, and so basically you're just telling a story about what happened in this thing, and I will boost your result to a 7 to 9, and that will get you out of some trouble. So you can choose any one of those crowns of the queens. You can have a flashback of your fondest memory of your late partner. You can have a flashback showing how you were imperfect as a sister or daughter, or a flashback of an imperfect mother, a flashback of your fondest memory of one of your children, a scene in the present day showing a private side of you very few get to see, a scene in the present day showing a burgeoning romance, or a scene in the present day showing how you satisfy your physical desires, whatever those are.
So, talking about being an imperfect daughter, well, you see, the last time I saw my mother was 1979, and I had to leave the whole country and my whole family behind. And the sad thing was, couldn't even go back for the funeral because I was in witness protection. You see, it's dangerous. It was a dangerous time. And she blamed me for the whole thing, sticking my nose in where I didn't belong. She said, "Keep your head down like your father used to, and you'll be fine." But I just couldn't stop meddling. I was committed to public safety, pissed off the wrong people on all sides of the conflict.
Beautiful.
Had to leave my whole life behind.
Beautiful. That's incredible, JC. Thank you so much for that. Heartwarming rendering brings tears to my soulless eyes. No, but it's very good. So that it boosts your roll to a success with a complication, and you can only do it once per roll. So your success gives you this information. So we wind back the clock to when you ask that question, when you explain about being from an Irish family. She's like, yes, I agree, but it's not that bad. It's really not. But I went to bed very early. I went to bed around 10, and all I could hear was just the raised voices outside, and there was specifically two people. I could hear them up on the deck of the boat, and they were arguing, but I couldn't hear what they were saying. Oh Lord, I just don't know what to do. I've got to keep planning. And she'll neck another glass of wine and actually just topple it over and smash it onto the floor. So there is now shards of glass kind of like on the floor, and she was like, "Oh, Andrew will get that," and she presses a button on an intercom. She's like, "Andrew, I've had an accident," and she'll push it off and then like just kind of go back to kind of replanning whatever it is that she wants to plan. So your clue is an argument between two suspects on the deck of the Regal Lady. The words they are saying is unclear.
Interesting.
That is your clue.
Okay.
I will add it to the list. I just need to copy it from the right place, and then I will be right with you. What would
Seems
you
like Andrew cleans up a lot of the messes round here, eh, Alison?
He's a butler.
And maybe a confidant as well to a crime.
That is technically his job description. But
that was
And we know
timing.
he's on a 24-hour call for all your needs.
All your needs.
That is.
Do you have a crime to clean up? Call your butler.
Cool, Andrew. He knows what he's doing. Great. I'm adding that to the list of clues now. That didn't go well.
Well, great. I think she seems to be in a bit of a fragile state, like that glass there. Perhaps we should go back to the ladies.
Hey, let's go back down to the lounge, see if they've managed to find anything. It's probably a normal situation down there.
And from the lounge here, holy fucking shit!
There's no normal with that Teresa, unless she's the new normal.
Love it. Love it. You guys make your way back into the lounge. And just as you're about into the lounge, you see Blothwyn kind of like looking through a stack of books and pulling one large book in particular. And you all hear this click just as it's kind of like coming towards the edge. And the book doesn't come completely out, but it's attached. And you hear this click. And then from down below where the actual cupboard is, a small like internal cupboard just kind of like lowers, and you hear this behind inside this secret cupboard is a, and this is not a clue, but this is just the way that I'm incorporating it into the story. It is a large collection of sort of those antique bottles of whiskey, or at least the containers of which, you know, there's like cardboard containers, and there's some, like, you can see some whiskey bottles there, and it's like all the good hooch, like all of it, some good hooch. But it's expensive good hooch.
Well, bloody hell, I didn't expect that to work.
Hey,
You
you're
right,
smarter than
ladies.
you give yourself credit for.
You two starting a party while we're gone?
Yes.
Don't mind if I do.
From the
Is that right?
corner, you hear Emily Krause, the little the 21-year-old, just kind of look up. She's like, "So that's where Dad keeps all his good hooch, right?" And she wanders over and helps herself to a glass of
I'm
whiskey.
gonna smack her wrist. How old are you, love? Hands off.
She's like, "Old enough, 21. Piss off."
Are you now wee, Emily? Because yeah, I know for a fact that you go to university with my Sean, and he's only 19.
Old enough. Yeah. So she's helping herself to a glass of brandy, whiskey, some sort of hooch.
Did you you ladies find anything else out from this little reprobate here?
Aye, so we was looking at her phone. Well, Bloodwood was trying to convince her to. I wasn't listening to that part. I'm sorry. That kind of technology talk goes right over my head unless it's, you know, like Silk Road shit.
Awesome. Teresa,
But-
you really
Silk
need...
Road, that's the name of my lingerie. Is that also a technology?
It's a site where you can sell and buy things you can't buy anywhere else.
What, like my lingerie?
Maybe.
Well,
You can only find
all
it in the
honesty-
markets in Redditch.
I think your lingerie would fetch a pretty penny on the Silk Road in the right places if you ask the right people. There's a market for everything on the internet.
Coming back around to my point, looked on a phone and there's lots of digital receipts for some very expensive stuff.
Yeah, great. Wasn't that what they were arguing about on the top deck?
It could be.
Oh, Grace found something else. You tell her, Grace.
I saw we was having a wee chat with the widow, and she said that between 10 p.m. and midnight last night, there was some arguments up on the top deck that she heard from her bedroom. We also find out that they're planning a family reunion of some sort, and one of the names has been crossed out quite maliciously. So there's a family member that somebody doesn't want to be around.
Can I right? I'm having real trouble getting into the Welsh accent today. I have to do a little bit of practice. Right.
It's fine.
All right. We get back into it. Bloodwind's going to turn to Emily and be like, right, I think we need to make a deal here, okay? We ain't going to tell anyone you know where the good hooch is, because I'm sure you wanna keep your access to this stash, right? I know I would in your youth, okay? So we're not going to tell anyone, but you got to give us some answers. Now, do you know who has been uninvited to this party, and do you know why?
This definitely sounds like a medal. This definitely sounds like you're trying to get information. So give me a roll, please. And what are you rolling with? What stat are you rolling with?
It's difficult. I think it's either reason or presence. It'd be presence because I'm like, I guess I'm trying to convince her to do something. I'm almost blackmailing her, but then also I'm using my reason to do that, you know?
I think I'd say reason personally, because you are reasoning with her.
Reasoning's more for sort of studying and examining. That's the clues that I've got for it. So, and presence is a lot more about charming, intimidating, capturing someone's imagination, that kind of thing.
So presence then?
If you don't mind. I know you don't get your bonuses, but sometimes that's just the way.
Yeah.
And
that's 2d6, please.
Oh yeah, is it 2? I thought it was.
Yeah, always 2d6.
It's a good first roll.
Second roll, 6. 6 and a 6.
What?
Oh, girl.
So, this is very special. So this is a clue that doesn't go towards your mystery, but it goes towards the bigger mystery. It's called a void clue. It goes towards the bigger mystery that's happening within Brindlewood Bay. And I will write it down just in case. I just have to think about which one.
I was so hoping a void clue would come up.
Yes. She kind of, Emily kind of like, she's back on her phone by the time that you've finished chatting to her. She's like, I suppose. Come with me. Come with me. I'll show you something. I'll show you something really weird.
That's on the Silk Road, I hope. Sorry, that was a Welsh accent. That was meant to.
Infectious accents.
Aye, everyone's Blothwin today.
As you say, nothing from the Silk Road, I hope. I take out a burner phone, just go right overboard.
Just like over the shoulder.
I love that.
She leads you down through through the main room and downstairs and into the galley, so into the kitchen. There she opens like a large fridge, right? And inside there is a fish. There is a large fish. But this is no ordinary fish. This fish is... You start to see this fish, Bloodwood, and you start to think, this fish is still alive. This fish is also purple? And what's that weird ooze seeping out of its eyes? It's beady little black eyes.
Javi.
Stare at this fish.
It's a ferret.
And then you look at it some more. It weirds you out a little bit. You kind of like blink and look away. And it's just a fish.
Oh.
But that's your void clue. A void clue is a fish that you've seen. It's got strange purple ooze seeping from its black eyes. The void clues don't make any difference to the mystery. It's just some weird thing that you've seen. You've touched the void by getting a double 6. Congratulations.
Oh, I don't think I'd like that battered with a side of chips, I can tell you.
And she's like, look, see? You see it? You see that, like, it's just like, it's a fish.
Aye, it's awful. Why are you showing me this for?
Like, you wanted to bargain. I thought I could just give you this fish. And like, that could be our bargain, and we could...
Oh, right. No? Well, I have no doubt it's very odd. But, like, it's very odd.
It's like, yeah, it is odd. Look at its face. It's got like weird little teeth, weird little face. And she drinks some more of her drinks some more of her hooch.
Yeah, I think I'll have some of that too. And I'm gonna take a shot too.
Well done on finding a void clue. That is super cool. They come up so very rarely.
Hey, Grace, you're good with animals and shit. What do you think this is?
Grace, when you look at it, you see just a normal large fish.
It just looks like a weird Atlantic cod. It's a bigger one, I'll give you that. Kind of thing my Michael used to catch all the time.
I'm assuming, can I still see the sort of ooze and or is it's just back?
It's
I swear for a second it was purple. You saw that too, didn't you, Emily? Purple fish.
Been eating too many Welsh cakes, Blothwyn.
Black ooze. Oh,
and it's like, purple fish? Never. I never saw anything of the sort, you old bat. You weird old woman.
No, I told you should... Do a Welsh accent again.
Yes. Get in there.
You should really leave off that hooch. It's really getting to your head, young Emily. And I grab the drink off her.
She's like, fine, I'll just go and get another one. They said respect your elders. I say respect this, and she does this and then runs off. Runs off to get another drink. She's a rebel.
God, these rich kids say,
"Oh,
no respect, no manners."
Yeah, it's true. No. Especially for this one, specifically. Anyway, you're in the kitchen.
With a fish?
With a fish.
Let's make lunch.
Why do you keep stroking our fish, Blothwyn?
I'm not stroking it, I'm poking it. I swear, all right, I swear on my life, I looked at that fish, right, and it was purple, and it had weird ooze coming out of eyes, and I just... I don't know. Maybe you're right, Sandra. Maybe I'm starting to go into Brummy now. Maybe you're right, Sandra. Maybe I have had a bit too much hooch.
It's been a long day, even though it's only the morning. Still,
yeah, it's been a long day.
It feels longer.
In all fairness, I mean, this morning we were rummaging through a dead body, and now we're looking at fish in the freezer. It's been a very weird morning.
From the window of from a window in the galley, you can see that the sun is kind of like high in the sky. So it's kind of approaching midday, maybe just past midday. So time is ticking on as you are exploring this wonderful boat.
Grace, love, you got any ideas? You seem to have all the brains round here. I'm just here to hand out tea, I guess. But where should we go now? You got any thoughts?
Well, we could have a wee hook around the kitchen, see if there's any clues that I've been trying to dispose of down here.
Or a sandwich.
What?
I can make a sandwich, ladies, if you like.
Right, let's get into lunchtime.
Oh, that is a question, actually. Where did they stash the broken vase?
You don't know, but you know that Andrew stashed it. Andrew has dealt with it.
You're going to put it together with your super glue.
Did some kitsuri?
I do. That's it, kitsuri. I forgot the name. I do have some super glue, and I've got some needle and thread, and I've got some hook and eyes, just in case the old bra goes. And I've got various other things. I've got my corpse thimbles.
That makes me think that I don't know why I'm picking up on this. Just my brain is exploring. That makes me think that Blothwyn is quite a well-set woman, if that is the right terms for it. If carries around an extra bra and or extra clips for the bra, like she breaks them on a regular basis. I don't want to know the answer, but that's what's going through my mind currently. I thought I would share. Anyway.
All those men who keep taking it on and off.
It has gone through a lot of use.
Anyway, cheese and ham chorizo, that suit you?
Can I have a look in the bins? I want to see whether I can sort of find this this broken vase.
I would like to explore whether Sandra's serious about making a sandwich.
Yeah. Make the ladies a sandwich. It's hard. You just said it's midday. It's like peckish.
Do you think that there's anything that Sandra might be? Is this something that's risky for Sandra, or something that Sandra might kind of have an issue with because maybe they're using other people's stuff, or maybe she's scared of
busybody. I think she just wants to get in people's drawers. She just kind of rummage about, start making things. If she happens across anything by accident, there's that. But I think she's just a busybody, and she just she does things for people and forces her own ways, her own timings and routines on people.
I'm trying to think which way am I gonna work this. Well, I'll let you decide. I'll let one of the two of you roll to meddle, and whichever one of you wants to roll to meddle, then we will discuss, see if there is a clue that comes up because of your meddling, either by making a sandwich or rummaging through the bins.
May I have a medal? It's been a little while. Would you mind?
Oh no, absolutely. Be my guest.
2d6, unless you want to use something from your bag of tricks to give you a bonus.
I don't feel like I have anything that would be particularly useful for this. Sure. I imagine this is. I'm looking at what would. I imagine this is my composure. I'm making a sandwich. I need to kind of remain calm, have a steady hand. I don't want to cut my fingers.
I love it.
So I'm just, having a go around the kitchen. I know where things are. Like, oh yeah, that's the drawer. That's this. That's that. Chill. Let's.
Don't
two
fail.
Of those.
You know how sharp those knives are. Just don't fail.
9 plus a 1, a 10.
It's 9. That's a 10. It's very good. Very good indeed.
You don't get an owie.
You don't get an owie. There is a complication. So 7 to 9, you get a clue, but you get it with a complication.
And I got a 10.
And you get a 10. Oh yes, on a 12 plus. Sorry, that's a hit. Sorry, yes, my brain failed. So yes, you don't get a complication. You look through the rest of this large fridge, and you see that there's like nothing like cheese, ham, or anything like that. You find the bread in the bread bin.
Oh no, worse, I'd find brie. And I'm like,
Etienne. And then you find like another fridge. Like there's about 4 fridges in this galley. It's a pretty huge galley. And you find like, you find some cheese, you find some ham, and you find a jar of pickled gherkins. And you just move those to one side, and a bit of paper just falls down into the fridge.
oh, this looks interesting.
I assume you're opening the piece of paper.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about the gherkins, love.
Sod that, gherkins, great.
Look, I can do it all in one, ladies.
Bloodwin approves.
I set them up, you knock them down. Great. Good job. Good job. You opening this piece of paper, you see that it's from I can't remember what the actual name of it is, but like you see it's from the stock market, the famous one that's in New York that I can't remember the name of. And you see it's from Wall Street, and you see that it's some certificates of a stock, and it's hiding in a strange place.
Stock certificates.
Stock certificates hiding in a strange place, which I will add to your list of clues.
Who would keep their stock certificates behind a jar of gherkins?
Someone who wants to keep their kitchen well stocked. Sandra.
Fuck off!
Great.
Oh, just a wee joke. Just a wee joke.
That was great.
I love it. I love it. 7 clues in. You let me know when you think that you want to solve the murder, and then we can go through it. But like until then, we can play as much as you want.
Cool. I think I'd like to get a sense of David and Sarah, and then do it.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. So, you finished making your sandwiches for people? You had them out?
Bread and butter. No brie. I don't touch the brie. Like, you can have a gherkin if you want, otherwise it's bread and butter, ladies.
Or to be honest, just give me the jar of gherkins. I'll happily snack on those.
No, my
There
wife
you
do
go,
that in
down
real
in
life
one.
too. Love gherkins.
My wife fucking loved those. Nasty.
It's gherkins, like they're very like chalk and cheese. They seem to like, people love them. I love them. I think they're great. And some people are just like, no, they're wrong.
Especially like if they're like sweet dill pickles.
Indeed, yeah. Proper good. Right. You've made some sandwiches. You have like a little tete-a-tete, and maybe there's still, you maybe refill your thermos flask from a hot water tap that you can just like, it's one of those hot water taps you can just press the button and hot water tap comes out. So maybe you refill the thermos, and maybe you have a cup of tea and some light lunch, light ladies lunch. Very nice.
Blothwin's going to take out her crochet and just have a little crochet while she eats her gherkins straight out the jar.
Bloodwin, why are you crocheting like an oozy fish? It's a very weird pattern.
What's
on your mind, love? Are you all right? So, when the day's done, I'll take you home and we'll watch a bit of Jane Fonda on VHS. And we'll just work out some of these issues you've got right now. Because I'm a little bit worried about you, love.
Do you know what? I quite like the idea that I have just started crocheting this purple fish that I've seen without even realizing I've done it.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know what, Sandra? I think I might take you up on that, because that fish really did give me the heebie-jeebies.
I can see.
It's what the idle hands will do when the brain doesn't work properly. It's like, I made a thing. I don't know how. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Is there anything else that you'd like to have a look through in the kitchen? Or what else would you like to do?
Nothing for me, I think.
Love, you haven't eaten anything. Are you all right?
Yeah, far from me to be, sounding like a cop, but this is just like shit we've taken from their fridge. Isn't that like tampering with evidence?
I know, it's okay. It's okay. We're on the job.
I'm 75, love. I need to eat something.
So good, so good. And the excuse of being on the job is a wonderful way to look through it.
I'd like to go and look for David, the son.
Okay. Are you all going together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll put my arm around. I almost said Meg then, around Blodwyn, just because I feel I'm a little bit worried for her.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, come on, love, we'll take her to Ria.
Hey, I'm not.
Oh, you got such a dirty mind, Blodwyn. I can't say anything round you.
No, it's not that I mind. You're treating me like I'm one of those old, the old biddies that sit in that community centre and just stare at the TV all day. I'm not there yet. I've still got a few years left in me, Sandra. Thank you very much.
Oh, I've no doubt about it, love.
But I appreciate your concern. It did, yeah. That fish, I promise you, I saw something weird. It just wasn't right.
I believe you.
I'm going Scottish now.
I've been having funny dreams ever since I got here. So,
There's something in the water, so they say.
Yeah, the fish.
You wander back through the galley and find a set of steps that lead you up onto an upper deck, and it kind of leads you sort of outside, and you can see, like, at the far end of the boat, not the front of the boat, but I don't know what, port, starboard, I don't know.
Front or the back, love?
I don't know boats. The back.
The pointy bit or the flat bit?
The flat bit at the back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, flat bit. I don't do boats. You can see that there's like a very well-dressed kind of male figure. Very kind of like has what people might call fashion sense, or what I would call maybe way too much money and spent it all on clothes. But yeah, it's a very avant-garde. It's wearing this like beautifully kind of like lordly jacket. It looks like it's made up of like multiple fabrics, but it doesn't look like it's been handmade. It looks like it's been made on purpose. And on the back, it's got something like Gucci on it, so some sort of like label. And he's out there, just like smoking. You can see him, but he's got his back to you.
Mr. Christ, hello there. Is it David, I presume?
He turns very slowly round. He's like, yes.
Oh, hi there. My name's Grace, and we're the Murder Mavens. We've just we've come to ask you questions and see how you're doing. Oh, I'm Scottish now.
It's all good. It's like, this is about father, isn't it?
Yes, it's about your wee dad. Yeah, I understand. It was just over there that he slipped and fell and had his terrible accident.
That's what they told me.
You're an art dealer, I understand, up in Boston. Is that correct?
That is correct. Have you been to the art gallery? It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Like, it's my life's work. I swear. I can't.
Do you have any? Do you have any Norman Rockwells? You know, I have a wee collection of plates with his paintings on back at home.
I quite like Rolf Harris myself.
I'm a Bob Ross fan. I love a bit of Bob Ross.
You see,
I wouldn't mind running my fingers through his afro.
You see at the mention of these other artists, they're just like, just recoiling. Like, no, we've got some Jackson Pollock, of course. Like, yeah, so we've got all sorts of like top quality people. Like nothing.
Oh, yeah, those I noticed those minimalist pieces in your lounge. Are they from your gallery?
Yes. Wonderful.
I was a wee bit distracted because I was trying to understand what they mean, but maybe I'm not intelligent enough for modern art nowadays.
Do you sell pottery or anything like that? You don't do vases or anything?
Not vases per se, but we do have some clay work. The wonderful artist Pete Mastronomy, he recently just curated a wonderful piece. Yes, it's very
what, like a kettle? What does he do?
I think he's the one that does the pottery with all, he does the sculptures with all their bits hanging out,
Exactly. Yes.
Erotic pieces.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant like their organs.
Oh, now you're talking my language.
I mean, sort of.
You mean their breasts? And their
ding dongs, their willies.
His recent work is just called Engorged, and just I'm loving every moment of it.
Right,
really.
Right. So why'd you kill your dad?
Cut through.
Takes a look. It's like, I didn't kill father. I'm surprised he's still alive at all, really. Or he was at that point in time. Useless man.
At that point in time, was you arguing with him last night on the deck?
We had a little disagreement, but I was in bed, probably about 10:30, like maybe 11 o'clock at least.
Hey, David, would you say do you like the French? Do you find yourself sometimes feeling you have an affinity with with France? Do you consider yourself a francophone?
I like an artist that's French, but I'd say it's nothing. It's nothing. Just like, it's not just French, but of course, the Austrians, the Germans, they all have their moments. I mean, I'm recently kind of looking into the performance artist Gal Bai, whose recent work committed when he threw himself from the top of a 5-story building just to have the ultimate artistic expression. Yeah. If you ask me, yeah, and you are asking me, of course you are asking me. Father could have, father's death could have been so much more significant, but he lacked vision, darlings. He lacked vision. Yes, lacking vision. That's my father. Oh, I can't wait to get back.
Vision now.
Yes.
Do you know Can I ask you something that I was wondering, just a wee bit off topic? All your paintings and your furniture and your wee grand piano, because my Michael, we used to own a boat that's not as fancy as this one, of course. I was just wondering how you stop him from moving around when you're out there at sea.
I don't know. That's Andrew's job. It's got nothing to do with me. I just can't wait to get back to Boston. Just got to get back to the gallery. We've got some more things coming in soon, and yes.
You've been spending a lot of money then recently.
Oh, of course, that's what money's there for, isn't it? There's no other place to spend it. I spend it on the gallery. It's all about the gallery.
Did your father have expensive taste as well, David?
He just gestures to the boat.
I'd have thought so too, but we had a wee look at his watch, and to me, no, I'm no expert, but it seemed like a bit of a cheap wee knockoff.
Like I say, father lacked vision. Let me know if you want a medal. I'm quite happy just to play this arrogant twat for hours.
Do you know, I don't think this guy here would know his fucking arse end from his father's over the boat end.
I think he might
He
have
doesn't
been.
strike me as the type to have the wherewithal to do anything meaningful with his life, like kill somebody.
Unless
I say that quite loudly in front of him.
unless he was a bit. I just look at him while I say it. Bit drunk that night, and there was an argument. Emotions got heated.
He turns around and says, "I'm drunk every night, darling." Unless you're meddling, and then we can see what happens.
I've got a bit of an idea forming. Have I got an idea forming?
Probably.
He
stubs out a cigarette. He stubs out the cigarette, which is like down to the nub, and immediately sparks another.
I'm going to ask him. Do you actually know? Have you ever actually seen any like purchase orders for this boat? Or have you actually ever seen your father buy anything? Do you want to? Can I explain sort of meta my sort of reasoning?
Well, what are you trying to get out of him?
It's the whole, the stock market certificates, and this is the idea that's percolating in my head. The stock market certificates, the fact that the guy was wearing a watch that was a knockoff, the sort of the expensive gifts that are going through his daughter. I'm wondering whether actually this guy, or Albert himself, actually doesn't have any money. I'm wondering whether he's made a bad call on the stock markets, and actually a lot of the wealth is sort of for show rather than real, which is why he wears the expensive watch, but it's actually a knockoff once you look at it close.
And cash pool.
Yeah, and he's on
for the inheritance.
Yeah, and he's on the boat, but maybe it's it's not his, and the expensive purchases that his daughter is making, I'm wondering whether that ties into it. Either, as we said, maybe it's sort of shut up money, that, or I'd be sort of interested to see whether those purchases are being made like on a credit card, for example, on credit rather than with actual cash.
I think there could be the expensive purchases could be Albert's purchases using his daughter's phone, and my reasoning is, if he's so reliant on his watch for timekeeping, that means he probably doesn't have a cell phone himself, and he'd go to his granddaughter, his the youngest daughter, for help with technology, to maybe get purchases in that his wife doesn't know about. That was what I was thinking with the purchases and the watch.
This sounds like you're theorizing.
I think we're theorizing,
but
I think we're theorizing a little bit.
If I can medal here and get one more, maybe.
Yeah. But that's the kind of why I think we need one more clue from this guy. I want to see whether he has actually ever seen his father himself.
Okay.
I would like to be the one to meddle, if I may, by literally just getting up in his grill and being like pretty aggressive, because he's talking shit to me, and I ain't taking that.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Great. I love it. I love this decision. This is a great decision.
Yeah. Because also he thinks his father is a good for nothing. Maybe he knows. Maybe he knows that his dad is full of shit. You know.
He's also a rich twat, so like,
Yeah.
who knows what's going on.
Yeah, that could be that too.
Right. Let's find out. Teresa, how are you dealing with David? What are you What are you rolling with? And
so similarly to how I kind of got in Emily.
Yeah, Emily.
Similar to how I got into Emily's grill earlier with the phone. I guess I'm gonna step up right up close and just go, it would be in your best interest to talk, It's keep holding shit back, and that's not gonna look too favorably on you when they grill you across the court fire, huh?
Love it. This sounds like presence to me. It sounds like an intimidation.
Yeah, presence I will take.
Are you using anything from your cozy little place to give you an advantage?
I
can think of one thing. But
yeah.
Do you have knuckle dusters?
You've got a couple of things as options. Take out a photo of Ace from Doctor Who. Be like, this is.
I will take my off-brand MP3 player and hit record on it.
Okay. Okay, I like it. I'm going to tick it off. Please roll me 3d6, Lane, and we will see what happens with Teresa. And we will take the two highest.
2 6s.
What? That's great. It doesn't mean you get the clue you want. It means you get a different kind of clue.
Time for you to see purple fishes too.
Yeah.
As it gets thrown off the boat.
As you, in my head, this is how it's plays out, but feel free to interject, Lane. Feel free to interject as much as you want. You I think you grab him. By the scruff or by the collar, and you kind of maybe pull him towards you. As you pull, you kind of his shirt opens. He's like one of these people that kind of constantly keeps his shirt unbuttoned just enough. You see a dark kind of black tattoo kind of on his chest, and you swear that you see it move from one side to the other. And he's like, put me down, old woman. What have you got to do with me? Father doesn't. I've got nothing to do with Father's death, and you can't prove it any other way. So your void clue is tattoos that seem to shifted when you look a second time. 2 void clues. Doesn't help the mystery, but is fun nonetheless.
No, but it would be very convenient for you if the life insurance paid out, huh?
He just doesn't say anything. He's just like, put me down.
God.
Before I call somebody who really cares. I could call Andrew. He's trained.
He's paid.
He's trained.
I don't think we're going to get much more from him, are we?
It was a great success, Lane. It's the wrong kind of success. So good.
It was too much of a success.
Yeah,
exactly.
How dare you're too successful?
Yeah, I love it. I'm going to add that to your void clues.
I'm happy with that result. I love this shit.
He's like,
Lady,
well,
should we go and deliberate in the lounge?
think so.
You still have one more child to talk to.
Oh yeah, we do.
I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah, I think we should go have just a quick chat with her.
Yeah, have a quick natter.
Yeah.
As we're walking off, I'm just gonna.
Is it? I mean, okay, you've thoroughly threatened this man by chance, but is there anything that Teresa might be sort of afraid of in the back of their mind, like because of their age, perhaps because of her age? I mean, I'm just asking questions. I don't expect you to kind of lean into it, but
I think that tattoo moving has actually kind of freaked her out a bit. So she's, compensating for it by being extra aggressive.
Love it.
Look like you've seen a ghost, love.
Hey, Blodvin, that you said that fucking weird fish earlier, right?
Aye.
Yeah, well, fucking Mr. I've got my head so far up my ass, I'm coming out my own mouth here. Had a fucking tattoo. Like when I grabbed him and his shirt ripped open like a porn star. I grabbed him and then I looked again and it was on the other fucking side.
I'm almost 100% sure that I used the powdered sugar on the Welsh cakes earlier. But now I'm wondering whether I sprinkled from the wrong jar.
Okay, but I didn't eat one of those, so how does that explain that? Shit's weird.
Love it. You wander off, and as you wander off, you can like feel daggers, like kind of eyeball daggers, being put into the back of your neck by this rich art twat.
Do you think he's heard of Rolf Harris?
Have you not heard of Rolf Harris recently, Sandra?
I don't think Rolf Harris is very active right now.
Oh, he did some shit.
No, he was a great artist. I won't hear anything about it.
Well, when he turns up dead in prison, we'll find out.
Prison?
Now,
Sandra, he was.
Let's be careful. I'm just going to put that out there.
His art isn't that bad.
There we go.
Let's be careful.
I tell you what, Sandra, I'll take you on the Google later, and we can we can see what's really happened to Rolf Harris.
There'll be an educational scene at some point in time in the future. Great, I love it. Where are you heading? What are you doing? I mean, you're trying to find Sarah Krause, is what I remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sarah.
Sorry. My bad. My bad. Where are you trying? I mean, like, it's a big boat. You can.
I imagine she's in the boudoir.
What?
Yeah.
A boudoir? It's French for lavatory, I think. Maybe bedroom.
Shitter?
Shitter? I don't know.
There are probably
Could be a type of cheese for all I know.
There are probably about 5 shitters on this boat. Probably at least 5. And Wikipedia says a boudoir is a woman's private sitting room or salon. Because even I had to Google it.
Well, the old Google, Blodwin just showed me, says it's a type of sitting room or salon.
Right. Okay. There's
Thanks for
probably
that,
like
Blodwin.
5 of
It's
those.
a really useful tip using this Google.
Okay, I have to try and think of something, but my brain is kind of failing what to do. You kind of wander down through the boat again, and you kind of like try a few doors, and behind one of the doors, you do find this woman that looks incredibly like different from the others, incredibly different from their mother. Like not physically, but like just like the way that they're dressed. They are frumpy rather than kind of plastered in riches. They are kind of dressing like they're a lot older than they actually are. And you can see she's sitting like kind of at a mirror, just kind of like dabbing her eyes kind of from moisture from crying, and like looking, and you can see that she's looking at kind of pictures of the family. So she's holding like a family album, looking at pictures of the family, just like looking at pictures of her dad, and just kind of
Oh, you're okay there, pet?
And she looks up with a star. She's
like, sorry for interrupting you.
I'm fine, I suppose. No, I'm not fine.
Well, no, of course you're not fine. Your father's just had a terrible accident.
Yes, poor dad. I'm gonna.
She's the first one that looks genuinely upset.
If this much is true, this much is true. That's a good statement.
I'll reach into my bum bag, my fanny pack, sorry, and I'll pull out kind of a bit of a used kind of rag. What I'm looking for, a handkerchief. Yes, thank you. And I'll just kind of pass it to her and kind of just.
And she looks at it. She's like, no, it's okay. And she throw the tissue that she's got, and she'll just pluck another one from the kind of mirrored desk that she's sitting near. She just plucks another one and just kind of tries to pull herself together.
Are these your Wayne's hair in this photo? They're so adorable.
Yes, that's she points at a small boy in a sailor's outfit. She's like, that's Portia. That's it's points at a girl in like a bright pink Barbie sort of style dress. This is Mercedes, and this here is Lambo. He's our special boy. He's we rescued him really from Guatemala. It's
that's so kind-hearted of you. I have huge respect for people who adopt. They're not here on vacation with you though, are they?
No, they're back home with Duncan.
That's such a shame because Brindlewood Bay is such a fantastic place for Waynes.
Yes, well, it's probably best now that Father's dead.
Hi there,
He breaks down once again into tears.
Well, if you like, love, I can do your makeup for you. If you just want a bit of a, just let it out and we'll fix you.
Like, no, it's fine. It's probably better that I just grieve, and she just carries on weeping.
Okay. Well, I just want to remind you that you need to answer our questions because we are working with the police, and I flash her my Northern Irish Royal Ulster Constabulary police ID. That's 40 years out of date.
She looks at it and she says, "So you think that Father was?"
It's okay. You don't have to say it there, but we do think there might be some suspicious activity around his death for sure.
Teresa, could you say it for her?
It's just too horrible to even contemplate.
That's okay. There.
Hey, think of it this way, love. We genuinely want to help, and we want to find out. We want to find out the truth here. And if someone was to blame for your father's death, wouldn't you want to know? Wouldn't you think it would be, you'd want to honor his memory by finding out who, who's responsible?
Sort of, but that means that it can't be. He just got drunk and he was a silly bugger and just kind of fell off.
Yeah, about that. You were having a wee nightcap with your family the night it happened. Is that correct? Is that a regular occurrence?
For them, yes, they are up to all hours drinking, and I was in bed by 9, maybe 9:30 at the latest. I had a call with Duncan. And
now you seem to me like a sensible girl, especially compared to some of the other members of your family. Would you agree with that?
And she kind of like looks up a bit confused and wipes the tears from her eyes without saying anything, just like kind of looking at you like, what do you mean? Just like that's the look she's giving you, like a bit confused by the way that this conversation's going.
I don't want to I don't want to shit on anyone's family parade, mind you, but it seems to me like you're only one of this family who's actually given a shit about your father's death in terms of him dying. Would you say that's pretty accurate? Yeah,
She nods, kind of solemnly.
Right now, it seems to me like you've probably got the best insight over what's going on here. Now, we've spoken to the rest of your family. We've also spoken to Andrew, and we've also spoken to Etienne down in the fish market. We've been around, and it seems to us there's something fishy going on.
At the mention of Etienne, you see her kind of like look, and she's like, "Oh, him. He's nice. I like him."
How did you know him exactly?
He's just somebody my family's helped. He's a lovely. He does a lovely thing on the guide. He does, yeah.
His French accent. I almost said an Irish accent. Do you mean his French accent when he does that?
Yes. It's a beautiful, like, romantic thing, and I try and go whenever I can. And just, yeah. I'm so glad we bought him the boat. I'm so glad. He's really nice.
Look, you look a bit peckish, love. Have a gherkin, but give me that photo album.
The energy of that thing. Oh, that's what you Americans like, right?
Have a gherkin. That'll do.
Let's take this big book off your hands. It's a trip down memory lane's not doing you any good at the moment. And
this very much sounds like meddling.
Oh yes, I want to have a look in the photo album. Some compromising photos.
Yes.
We'll see if her children look like Etienne.
Exactly.
Give me a roll, please.
Can I use my presence as a kind of trying to persuade her to?
Yeah.
I've been all right with rolls so far. So let's
please get 2 more 6s.
If I use anything.
At this time, you probably don't want 6s, but like, sure.
Thulu's just gonna get us by the end of this.
10, 11. Wow. As good as it can be without being a 12.
That's an 11. Okay. You start to flick through the book, and this seems to be happening to you a lot recently. A piece of paper falls out the back of a book.
I tell you what, ladies, this keeps happening to me.
And what we will do is we will take a little break and find out what's in that little bit of paper after our little bit of break, because I need some more tea, and I think once we come back we'll find out what's in this bit of paper, and maybe the ladies will be able to theorize, but we don't know that. We'll figure it out. If we could go to a break, please, Nate, and then we'll be back in about 15-ish minutes. I will pause, but like, well done. Welcome back to the second part of Brindlewood Bay via Twitch. We are in the midst of nearly solving the what happened in Dad Overboard, or that's the goal. And I was just about to give Sandra a clue. So you open this this kind of wodge of papers, like it's quite a lot of papers like fall out into your lap, and you kind of pick it up and you have a look through it, and then maybe like kind of whilst Sarah is kind of still kind of crying and wiping their eyes, and you read through it. It is instructions to cut someone out of a will. Juicy. I can't say who, because then that leads into where the theorize goes, but that's what the clue is. Instructions as to cut someone out of a will. I will add that to your list of clues. Congratulations.
Yay.
That's clue number 8. What to do, ladies? And if you want to kind of like break off and then start to theorize, we can start to do that. Or if you want to keep,
I think we need to theorize, because we've got all these questions. I've got all these questions that I want to ask the suspects, but they don't know the truth. So we need to decide what the truth is.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly.
And then we can nail them.
That's exactly it. That's exactly how this works. Yeah. You guys kind of tell me what you think your truth is, and then we'll roll some dice and we'll figure out what's actually going to happen.
A quick question. Earlier in the session, there was a I can't remember what the move was called now. It is where's my list of moves? A Gold Crown Mysteries move.
Yes.
Does that give us 12 plus to a single relevant roll? Do we get a...
Or you can make up a detail. So we made up the detail about the hidden bookcase.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So it was the hidden hooch parlor.
Yes, I got you.
So
I understand that now.
Not quite a library, but a hooch parlor. I should have actually asked Meg whether she wanted me to integrate it in or not, and that's a mess up on my behalf. But it's done now.
It made for a good bit of role play, so
exactly. Exactly.
The hidden hooch market, like hidden hooch parlor, sounds like something on Old Market.
Yeah, and none of you have used your like special Maven moves because it's just not come up yet, and that's all. That's all good. It's all good. All good. And you found 2 void clues at the top of it as well. It's just like, wow, really diving into the darkness. It's great. So you are still sitting by Sarah Krause, who is crying, not quite uncontrollably, but she's definitely really upset, and she's no longer holding on to this album.
Oh, sorry, love. Have it back. I didn't mean to make you miss your children at this moment. We've got what we need.
Oh, okay. And she does that lip thing that people do. And then she's like, kind of keeps looking through, and she finds a picture of her deceased father and starts once again bawling into tears. Where would you like to go?
I think we should probably go back to the maybe our little our bookstore, back to the side table. What do you think, ladies? Get everything out on the table and go through it.
That's a good idea. I've run out of hot water. Filling me thermos.
As you are exiting like through the lounge, you see Officer Peterson just kind of like wander past you. He's like, "Oh, hello, ladies. Hey, you okay? You all good?"
Oh, Hi there, sweetie. We're just out here solving your mystery for you.
He's like, I still haven't found one of the Krauses. I don't know where they are. They've been avoiding me. Help!
Did you not check in the big old boat behind us? Because they're all in there.
He has a moment where he thinks, it's like, oh yeah. Oh, I can see one up on the top deck. Yes, great. And he goes sprinting off with his little notebook in hand.
Bless him.
And you take the 20 or so minutes to walk back to the English side table, where Julie is still behind the counter because she works every day, all day. She doesn't own the place, but she's there. She's a hard worker, is Julie. And she sees you coming in through the door, and you can see her kind of go from cleaning a cup to.
All right, Julie, love. I'll put the thermos on the table. I say, the usual, please.
Chris, could I ask a question?
Yes.
In Officer Peterson's notebook when we got it, by any chance did it have his contact details?
Probably not, but what are you trying to get at? I'm interested.
I am wondering whether I've got this thing percolating, just sort of RP stuff, of if it did have his contact details, or if Peterson had ever at any point given his contact details to us, I don't know, like a little card or something.
Yeah, he probably would have given you a card when he met you.
Okay. All right, good. Keep that in mind. As we go into the side table, I'm going to go up to Julie and I'll be like, "Hey, hi, Julia. You remember our little conversation we had, last night?"
Yes, the one about Sheriff. Yes.
We came to the conclusion he's probably a bit too old for you, isn't he? It's probably a bit past your time.
No.
Yeah. And far too much going on here. She gestures to the side of the face.
Yeah, it's not very good. You'd like a fresh, clean-shaven boy.
It's not so much the moustache. It's just he looks a bit. I've done some research myself. He looks a little bit like a bulldog, you know, like
it's the acne scars, love. You can go out and say it. It's all right.
It's a bit like he's got a bulldog kind of chewing a bee. I heard that there's a phrase in England that says a bulldog chewing a bee.
Chewing a bee. I see what you mean, and but I've got another option for you. I've got it on good authority that if you call this here number, and I'm going to slide her across the card. There's a chap on the other side of those digits that I think would appreciate your company.
She's like, Lordwin, you're I really appreciate that you're trying to hook a girl up, but you're hooking a girl up with some. How do I put this?
You a lesbian, love?
Yes.
What did you say? Bloody hell, bloody.
Oh, Jolie, if you'd have just said it, I would have. Oh, I've been barking right up the wrong tree.
Oh. I don't want everybody to know. I'm still not out yet. I don't know if I'm a lesbian. I don't know, but I'm exploring.
Oh, I tell you what, if you want my advice, right, as someone who has been married to a man and married to a woman and has had a lot in between too, yeah. The best thing you can do is it's like, imagine you're going to an all-you-can-eat buffet, right? Okay. The last thing you want to do is go and fill yourself up on the garlic bread. Okay. You want to take a dish, and you want to put a little bit of every cuisine on that dish, so you can get a taste of everything, right? So then when you go back the second time, you know which dishes to go to next. Okay, right now you're at the buffet. Okay, and there is a, well, I mean, it's a limited choice here, mind you, but there's still 2 or 3 dishes to try out, and I recommend you just try as many as you can, my dove.
Not the love. Are you saying the garlic bread is a penis? I can't in this.
How do we get onto food? What can I get you, ladies?
Just some more hot water and some rich tea, please, Julie. We need the rim.
She cracks open a special tin that like has a post-it note on it. Like that's like a post-it note on it is for the English. And then she opens this like tin, and there, beautifully kind of like strewn in a packet, is a whole packet of rich tea biscuits. And then she just like offers the whole thing. She says, like, do you want the whole tin, or do you just want a couple on a plate?
I will be taking the whole tin, please, Julie.
Okay, great. And I'll bring you a coffee, Teresa, black.
Aye, please. And I just slide across the money.
Thank you. A hot chocolate, Blodwyn, or
no. Tonight is going to be a chai latte, please.
chai latte. Okay, great.
Chai latte, extra dirty.
Extra dirty. Okay, great. Pick any table you want. I think also the room's free if you need the room, but it's not book night. You don't need the room. Of course, you don't need the room.
Oh no, we need the room, Julie.
Oh,
we need the room.
We always need the room.
Oh, I'll bring you drinks in. Make yourself at home.
No. You go ahead. You guys go ahead. I'll bring it through. You don't have to. It's fine.
Okay, that's fantastic. And just one more thing, Julie. Just call us English again.
I was waiting for somebody to pick up on that.
You might be getting the sharp end of Teresa's baseball bat. So bear that in mind.
Don't get yourself arrested before we finish.
I had no idea that you were going to pick up on that. That wasn't my intention, but you did, and I love it. I love it.
Beautiful.
I was really frustrated. I was the only English one here, and I was like, I can't say anything.
And of course, I'm not saying that Julie's thick. It's just like that's just like what she's decided to brand you as. She's like, okay, great, and she scratches off English, and she's like, you UK?
Hey, that's fine. No, I'm okay with that sort of thing. That might get you in trouble where I'm from, but we'll just take the biscuits and go.
Is that Belfast? Is that in London?
Yeah. She doesn't know. She rips off the post-it note, like tears it into small pieces, and just hands you the tin. She's like, "I'll sort it out when you get back. It's fine." And she starts like making the drinks and then placing them on a tray, and then eventually just kind of like passes the tray over to Teresa, and she's like, "Come back when you want some more. I'll be here."
Oh, well, do you ever get days off? Yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. Minimum wage life, huh?
Yeah. You got to do something. You got to. But they are hiring. Well, that's what they tell me.
Okay, I'm sure I'm. Listen, if you get yourself a union.
What unionizing?
I will literally just be like, hang on. I will Google like a food workers union, write down the website, slide it over to him, and goes, just take a look at that, and take the drinks in.
Thank you. And then she tries to give you back your change, and thanks. And she puts it in a tip jar, and then kind of goes back to goes back to kind of like working, picks up a book and just starts reading it. And you can see it's one of the Gold Crown Mysteries. It's one of Robin Masterson's books. So she's like looking into it.
She's got taste.
We got a future Maven.
Like looking into it. You enter your room, and inside the room, of course, it's like nicely laid out as per usual. Is there anything that you've done to this room, ladies, that has made it a bit more your home, so to speak? Because it sounds like, even though other people use it, like it sounds like you may have customized it. And I forgot to ask you the first time that you were here, so I'm asking you now.
It's got some really questionable murder, like Amanda Delacour fan art themed embroidery on the walls.
I love it.
You know,
Love it.
like maybe I imagine Blawthwyn's probably tried to recreate one of the romance scenes,
Right?
in embroidery, but only on a like third attempt of doing embroidery as a thing.
So it looks like a man holding a big fish instead of a lady or
looks-
something.
No, it looks more like two potatoes.
Snogging.
Yeah, el flagrante, as they say.
If I may be allowed two touches,
Sure.
there is a lingering smell of sandalwood.
Okay.
Just kind of present on the air all the time, and there is a tea ring on the table, which is from the thermos, where I put it in the same place every time.
I've tried to scrub it out and just made it worse.
Yeah. Even though there's coasters, you've never used one.
No.
You're the worst person like ever. No. Okay. Great. Cool. You take your places at the table. Let's theorize. This is a conversation that happens between all of us, kind of in character, out of character, whatever you want. And basically, we're just trying to designate all of the clues and have a chat about who we think is, or who you think the murderer is. Dun, 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 dun. Remember to not include your void clues. They are not part of this.
Damn it.
I wasn't the big purple fish.
As you explain them, I will tick them off on the keeper, and just so that we have a score, so that I've got something that I can reference.
Okay. So, the watch being set wrong, if it was done deliberately, that's because somebody wanted him to be either early for something or late, so they would be able to know where he was alone.
Or it was for some, when he got. So it could have been different time. It's like, oh, he wasn't here at midnight. He was here at 8 o'clock. See, look at his watch.
Do you think maybe...
I like JC's between those two. I thought that kind of like... it's more dastardly. I quite like that. It's a little bit more scheming and manipulative to trick him into being somewhere by pre-adjusting the watch. And so they get them alone.
I like that idea.
I feel like there's a few that we could link together. Stuff like the instructions to cut them off the wheel, the argument on the boat, and the illegitimate child. I feel like those could be brought together somehow.
And maybe even the guest list with the crossed out family member. If it's potentially like one of Albert's brothers or family members, that could be the illegitimate father. And he's been ostracized.
Megan?
I keep coming back to the things like the digital receipts for extravagant purchases and the stock market. Oh, am I going to sneeze? Sorry.
Yes. No,
it's gone.
Bring it.
It's gone. Apologies. Yeah, the stock market certificates and the extravagant purchases. And I still think there's an element of fiscal instability, and then it also might explain why Alison is so preoccupied with getting this fundraiser off the ground, because maybe they're actually siphoning funds,
Embezzling.
into their own pockets.
I was thinking that too, because the idea that they've literally bought a boat for someone in order to invest in the community. That's not how rich people feel good about themselves. They would make a charity and launder the money whilst feeling good about themselves.
Yeah, so I think the stock certificate would probably show that they're actually doing really badly financially. And then, as you said, I think Alison's sort of not clue that she's given us, was it actually an official clue? I don't think it was officially a clue, but anyway, oh no, it wasn't it?
Which clue are you talking about?
She gave us the guest list. She gave us the argument.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Are clues allowed to be red herrings? And you say, well, this is just, or do they all? Do we need to try and get them all to?
We get more bonuses to the dice the more we link clues in.
Yeah, what Lane said.
Cool. Nice one.
So, JC, who do you think was crossed out of the fundraiser?
So here's a theory. It's Albert's brother, for example, who Alison had an affair with, resulting in the illegitimate child. Someone's found out and disinvited him to the family gathering.
How do we tie that in with the money though, and the laundering? And who's the murderer? I mean, do we start with who's the murderer and work backwards and fit it in? I mean, what's the
yeah?
I mean, it sounds like Sarah found out and was written out of the will, right?
Or she's trying to write someone else out of the will.
I don't know. Sarah seemed pretty, like the only one who actually gave a crap about her dad. If anyone wasn't the child, I'd say it'd probably be David.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, but also, I do kind of like the idea that maybe if Etienne was the father of one of the, would in terms of, it makes sense in terms of ages, because you said Etienne was in his sort of 50s, and David's probably about 30 odd. Maybe, actually, do you know what? Maybe all of the children are illegitimate. Maybe none of them are Albert's. And maybe actually that crossed off name on the guest list was actually Albert's, because hear me out, because Alison,
I like it.
Okay, all right, this is crazy.
I love crazy. Yes.
But maybe Etienne is actually the father of all three of those kids, okay? All three of them are Etienne's, and Alison has been having an affair for a long time, and it was her idea to give him the boat as kind of like a favor, because he's her longtime lover. But Alison found out that that Albert had been making some bad financial choices, okay? and that Alison had
And
found
she
out that
also
he'd been
found-
making.
And she
Oh,
also
sorry.
found out that Albert found out the kids were illegitimate.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking maybe actually the stock the Wall Street stock certificate, if that's in Alison's name, maybe she's actually been accumulating money outside of Albert. You know, she's been actually making her own wealth. Okay, and she was going to use the sort of gala to sort of oust Albert once and for all, you know, which is why he was crossed off the guest list, you know, and maybe Albert found out about her plans to sort of oust him and sort of move away and run away with Etienne, okay, and there was a tussle, and then maybe Alison, you know, maybe he went for Alison, okay, and said, you know, and was going to do that, but then maybe Alison pushed him overboard. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's really hard to try and get all the clues in, isn't it?
How about they all did it? They all killed the dad for exactly the reasons you say. So they're all illegitimate children, and he found out. They all want to write him. He wants to write them out of the will because they're all illegitimate children, and maybe he has another child somewhere else, or you know, something where he wants the money to go to, or a terrible cause that they don't agree with. So he wants to write them out of the thing. They've been saving up their own money on stocks, but now they found out that he's trying to get them out of the will. He knows that they're all legitimate, so they all try and bump him off beforehand.
Yeah.
And the one person who doesn't is a butler, and so they had changed his watch, so he didn't. When he expected to go and see the butler wasn't there, and so he didn't see the butler. And then they had a big scrap. They knocked the vase over, or someone knocked him over the head with the vase.
Yeah.
But
maybe that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so that I was trying to get out when I was with David was that they can't have knocked the vase over by accident. We're on a had to have fastened to something, so it had to have been taken out and thrown or smashed deliberately.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe he was killed? The vase was actually the murder weapon, and then his body was thrown overboard.
That sounds like good reasoning to me. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it sounds like good reasoning.
Could have been enough just to knock him out, so they could throw him without him putting up a struggle, and then he drowns.
Yeah, or that. Yeah. So yeah, the whole. Well, I think the whole Krause family would be in on it, apart from Sarah / Sarah. She seems to be the only one.
Cold. She like realized like, oh, you actually want to do this. No, we can't.
But maybe part of our theory could be she's next, you know. And yeah.
She's the only legitimate child.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She is the only one who has some kind of alibi because she was FaceTiming with her husband.
And speaking to her kids.
Yeah.
It's amazing the things I make up and you're taking like as part of this whole thing.
You have to give us something, Chris. You have to give us something.
Yeah, and I have by accident. It's great. I love it. I love it.
So what we're saying is, the timeline of events are, so Alison decides that she's going to run away with Etienne. She's been making stock purchases by herself to sort of gather up the money. Okay. So that would explain the stock certificate in her name. Okay.
And the money she's spending the receipts are going to her daughter's phone, so he doesn't find out.
The receipts are going to the daughter's phone so she doesn't find out. So that's 2 clues. So anyway, Alison's got this plan, but then Albert finds out and gets really mad at her. Okay, and then they're all drunk, and he sort of, he like accuses her of, infidelity and cutting him out of his own family's inheritance. Because she's been working with solicitors in the background. Now she's got this wealth behind her to sort of, you know, to think, and maybe she's siphoning money off of the gala as well. So she's crossed her own husband off the guest list. Okay.
Yeah. As the final, I'm done
as the
with
final, bugger you. So that's 3 clues. Then in the heated moment of them being drunk, I don't know, Alison hits Albert over the head.
They have the argument beforehand. So the argument on the deck is when he finds out.
Oh,
so
yeah,
they argue on the deck before they go inside.
Yeah, so they argue on the deck before they go inside. And then Alison, like, you know, in the tussle, Alison ends up hitting him over the head with the vase, okay? And they knock him unconscious. Maybe they even think he's already dead, and they think, to hide the body, we need to throw him overboard, you know? So that would account for what, 4 clues, wouldn't it? Is that 4 clues? Instructions to come. Yeah, instructions to cut some. Oh no, because instructions to cut someone out of the will.
Yeah, because
maybe it's Sarah.
Because they found they're illegitimate, so they know David's illegitimate, and this is all part of the kind of like why they're deciding, because they need to cut him, they need to get rid of him because he now knows they're illegitimate. So not only they were about to cut him off completely, but then he found out they're also, so he could have blown the whole thing out of the water there, them trying to get what remains of the money, because he could say, well, no, you're illegitimate, blah blah blah. And so that just strengthens the reason why we've got to do it now, why we kill him. He's found out what we're doing, he knows why we're doing it, because his kids are illegitimate and they can't have the money, with the exception of Sarah, let's say. And that's why where the argument started. So they're planning this just to cut him off, but then he found out that they were illegitimate, so he was kind of like, he was going to blow it all out the water before they had the opportunity to at the gala.
Can I just, I'm loving this, can I just turn to Lane and say, Lane, you're very quiet.
I'm having a time with this. I'm not good at theorizing shit like this, and I am.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm having a time.
I wanted to make sure you had like an opportunity, and just just wanted to make sure that we.
I'm just stepping in whenever I have ideas,
yep.
But then
that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. I just wanted to make sure of that. That's all. That's part of my job. Great. I mean, it sounds like we're getting somewhere.
I think we got all the clues in.
Apart from the bastard watch, which is the one that's been bugging me since the start.
No, you were right in the first place. That's actually no, not if they're angry in a sudden moment.
I mean, that's the way to make sure he's not on the boat. But he turned up anyway.
Or I mean, it could be because it was sort of, you know, explained as a sort of a bit of a shitty watch. It could be that when he was hit with the vase, it just broke.
I did mention that the watch was still working.
Yeah,
it is.
And I didn't think it was a fake. I was just trying to bait David into what he knew about the watch. But he obviously didn't know anything.
And it comes back down to Lane's idea that they just reset the watch. They knocked him over the head. They reset the watch to make it seem like he died earlier in the day or later in the day, not at the time they were having the argument, just to try and throw people off the path, off the scent.
But the watch is so good that it didn't work because it was still ticking.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really hard putting this narrative together.
Saltwater puts a lot of friction on those gears.
Mm-hmm.
Means it can't move as well.
So, let's have a look.
I think that's then got a little bit of everybody's.
So, essentially, David and we're sort of settling on David and Emily are illegitimate, or just David. Legitimate. So David and Emily are illegitimate, and that explains the paternity test. So we got that. We're also saying that Alison has decided to run away
with Etienne.
So Etienne's the daddy, because that's fun. Etienne is the daddy, and she is running away with him. And to do so, she has been making her own, making her own Wall Street. She's basically been cooking the books on her, her fundraiser, and making her own sort of Wall Street bets. I don't know what they do there.
Yeah.
But she's been basically building her finances. Okay.
Stock
And
stuff.
To do so.
Yeah. And keeping it all on the download via Emily's tech, basically. She's using her logins and passwords through her phone and whatnot, and she's keeping it away from Albert's eyes.
There was an expensive purchase of a stock. No, this was a vase on the cost 300,000.
So, Alison has asked Albert. I can't see. It's there not wanting to.
We don't have to involve Albert.
Yeah.
You could just
maybe
not be a party to it.
Yeah. Maybe Albert actually is the one that crossed maybe David and yeah, actually, maybe Albert has also, while Alison's been secretly kind of, getting financially secure without him, ready to run away, Albert has also been gathering his own clues, and actually he has suspected the paternity thing, which is why he took the paternity test, why there are instructions to cut both Emily and David out of the will, okay? And then why maybe the person crossed off the guest list for the fundraiser is actually Etienne himself. What do you think?
Albert doing his own counter reveal?
Yeah, because maybe Albert actually confronted Alison about Etienne, but without knowing that she was actually looking to kind of.
I quite like the first idea you have, that it was Albert himself that was cut off from it, because that was their big reveal. It's kind of like, we've cut ourselves off from this man, but he got wind of it ahead of time. The argument on deck it could have been between Alison and David about how they were going to do it. It could have been between Alison and Etienne about how they were going to do it. What do they do now they've been found out?
Well, I would have thought if the only problem is if Albert's the one being cut out of the will, it kind of
he's not being cut out. No, he's not being cut out of the will. He's been taken off the family party the list.
Yeah.
He's not being cut out the will. He's just not invited. He's cutting them out of the will because he's caught wind of their plan and their scheme. So he's cutting them out of the will. They fight, but he decides to do that before they have a chance to make their big reveal at the party. And then they argue, okay, how are we going to do this? Should we do anything?
Actually, that could be. It could be kind of like the two reveals coming together. So if Albert has cut Alison, Emily, and David out of the will, meanwhile, Alison, Emily, and David have been working to become financially secure without him. Yep. When they all get drunk together, it could come out in some way. Actually, that's what the argument's about. Albert accuses Alison of infidelity, okay? And then Alison says, not only am I being, unfaithful to you, we're actually gonna, screw you, we're leaving. And Albert, Albert says you've been unfaithful, and I'm gonna cut you out of the will. Alison goes, who gives a shit? We're financially secure anyway and have been for ages. and we're cutting you off instead. And then the argument entails Albert gets hit over the head. Okay. Then they reset his watch to like, I don't know, a few hours. Would it be a few hours forward, maybe?
It's however long you need to basically to work it into the story. So, it's whatever you need. Like,
I'd say,
I completely encourage like any retconning of facts that you need just to kind of like make this theorized work. It's all fine.
Just to make it seem like he was having a wonder on the deck late at night or something. So it didn't seem like it was at the same time when Albert heard them all having an argument. They just try to make it so it seems like he's been in the water longer or shorter, whatever works from a detective's point of view. Like his body's been in the water longer.
Exactly.
Yes. So they knock him out with that, and then think he's dead. So throw him overboard to try and get rid of the body, but actually he's still alive and he drowns, which is really horrific.
and that's all the.
And that's all the clues
and
put
that's
together.
all she wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard being detectives.
It is hard being a detective. So let me just kind of run through and we'll kind of like make sure that we've kind of included everything. So we're saying that the wristwatch was set by somebody after Albert died for some reason, because that messes with the timing of death. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. The guest list, remind me of the guest list crossing personnel.
They've crossed Albert out because they were going to. They were basically leaving him behind, and like you're no longer part of this trust. We're going our own way.
The antique vase we're saying is the murder weapon.
Yep.
The documents to call into question the paternity. We're saying that maybe multiple children.
Maybe David and Emily particularly.
The two youngest.
Okay, great. The piles of receipts we think are potential stock receipts.
They're like
purchases.
It's like hiding the money.
Yeah. Okay.
So a relatively big stock purchase becomes we spent 300,000 on this vase.
Or you're cleaning it, perhaps.
Yeah.
Just moving the money.
Exactly.
I've things through my own Amazon shell company.
Yeah, I've seen Breaking Bad. It happens. The argument on the deck is basically how the murder happened, with the antique vase possibly being kind of involved in that somehow. So there's some sort of argument. The stock certificates we're saying is somebody kind of getting money together so that they can become solvent of some sort, or break away from the current family structure. And the instructions to cut someone out of a will.
That's Albert saying, sorry.
So Albert would have confronted them and saying, I know how to cut you out of the will. I've got these instructions. And then after he was killed, somebody hid them in the photo album.
So who are we actually pinning it on?
David.
David.
Yeah,
I think David was one who picked up the vase. But Alison was there.
Yeah, I reckon it's between those two, or three even. But maybe Emily's probably a bit. I don't know. Emily's kind of like an accessory. I'd say like, I don't know. Maybe Alison is the one that hit him over the head, and then David pushed him off. Or the three of them pushed him up, like took him off.
So you're kind of pointing the finger at all of the family, basically, except Sarah. Except Sarah. Yeah, except Sarah, however we want to pronounce it. Great. Okay. Now this comes the tricky part. Who would like to take the responsibility of rolling dice?
Nope.
Because this is what it's going to come down to. You get a +2 because you've expended all of the clues. So whatever you get to roll me 2d6, and then I will add 2 to it, to the total.
Well, I rolled last time, so it's not me.
Lane's already noped out.
Yeah, I've noped out. I'm not taking responsibility for this.
Gracie there, love. Do you want to...
Go on, man.
Hand it over to the ex-cop.
Yep.
clutch my wee
Clutch your
Royal
pearls.
Ulster my wee Royal Ulster Constabulary pin badge.
Roll me 2d6.
I'm not looking in the right place. Oh fuck.
Is it only 2d6?
Yeah, it is 2d6, but it is plus 2.
Correct.
So
7.
You got 5, 6, 7.
Is that a success still?
That is
You're correct, but there's a complication.
Woo! There is a success, but there is a complication.
Grace has a heart attack figuring it out.
David comes in and beats us to death.
Not necessarily a complication with you guys, but it's a complication with the arrest itself.
That wee fucker's going to mess it up.
Yeah.
Emily trips overboard as they're making the arrest, and the youngest because she's a bit drunk. She's been drinking.
It is.
She found the hooch. They go to make the arrest. She tries to get away.
They all put the blame on Sarah.
You all put the blame on somebody else. So, the solution is Alison and David are our our suspects. Great, cool. How are you informing the police? Like a little bit more out of character, and then we will jump back in and we will see what happens.
I think we need to do one of those like Sherlock Holmes Poirot-esque reveals where we get everyone in the living room.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Talk them through it.
Spectacles type thing.
Yeah. But go down dead ends and then be like, but and go look the other way. Kind of hone in on Etienne for a little while, kind of make him nervous, make him sweat a little bit, but then
so I guess you walk back down to the jetty and you call everybody into the main room. And I guess you also call Etienne in? Question mark? Yeah. Okay.
He knows about some of it. He's not.
And Officer Peterson is there to kind of like help out. Catbutt is here to help out. And it's he comes along to kind of like help out, and he helps you kind of like bring Etienne in. He's like, so I'm sorry to disturb you, sir, Mr. Beauregard. I'm gonna have to ask you to accompany me onto the boat. And Etienne's like, well, it's not me. I just, but I will come. It's okay. He will kind of like grouchily come along. And you arrive in the center of the lounge, and they're all sitting there. Emily is still on her phone, just doing a thing, doing whatever it is that this young person
doing her
TikToks. David is kind of like leaning against the piano, like sipping some champagne. Sarah, you can see, is still kind of like her face is all red and blotchy from crying, and Alison's just kind of like fretting. She's kind of like, just kind of like wondering, kind of like her hands are not still at any point in time. And so, and even Andrew the butler is just standing by the door, just kind of like waiting to buttle.
Waiting to buttle.
And you explain all of this mess. You explain all of the clues. Meanwhile, Officer Peterson is looking very nervous and very kind of like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. No. And you can see like he's got.
Point we blame Officer Peterson. We kind of on Peterson.
And isn't that right, Officer Peterson?
Yeah, Gracie definitely did.
I'm trying to do my best. I've got some notes, and all of this is kind of making some sense. Yes, it's all good. I'll get in touch with the sheriff, and then we'll have to arrest both of you, Mrs. Krause and Mr. Krause, And he points at David and Alison. And he, you can see them sort of like look at each other, and they're like, "What?" And Alison is sort of clutching like a bag that she's got on her, that she's like kind of got like her phone and stuff in. And she's like kind of, "Oh, so well, I never thought about anything like this." She opens the bag and she like reaches in and she pulls out a gun.
I tackle her. Like as she pulls it out, I was like, "No, you fucking don't!" I just like fucking clothesline her. I have been waiting for this.
Okay.
Sounds like you're meddling.
No, this is definitely a day move. This is definitely this is definitely something risky. There has been a gun brought into play.
Yes.
You see, I've got this move called Cult Seavers.
Okay.
Which
It's an amazing move.
Yes, it is
it
amazing.
just lets me take a 12.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Nice.
You see this gun get pulled, and describe to me, Lane, in as much detail as you want, what happens once you kind of like launch your 70-year-old self. I can't remember exactly how old you are. At this much younger, like 45-year-old-ish woman,
I think
who's now pulling a very tiny gun out of a handbag.
Yeah, I think at some point, like Hannah sat down with Teresa and was like giving her little lessons on, you see, if they pull a gun, you need to go for the hand that's pulling it. And she's like, yeah. So she kind of thinks back, remembers that, and she sees the sort of like panic in Alison's face, sees the hand going for the gun. Let me look at the stuff I've got.
You don't need to roll anything.
I know. I just want to use it. I just see it go, oh, shit. Jump for her, pull the piano wire out of my thing, and just like wrap it around her wrist and yank.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Wow.
So like I've got her like the piano wire around her wrist, held. She's on the floor, like can't really move with probably a broken wrist.
Amazing. You hear this crunch noise and an explosion as the gun goes off. Like once it hits the floor, it ricochets, and you hear a young man go, "Ow!"
Poor Peterson.
And you can see that, like, Officer Peterson is now clutching like his arm, and as he kind of like looks down at it, it's a graze, but he's been grazed by a ricochet bullet, but it is bleeding. And he's just like, ah, and he kind of hands you the cuffs.
I've already got the... Give me that. Give me those.
He then radios in for backup, and backup arrives, and they say, and you hear Alison say, "Yes, I was gonna get rid of him. It was all me. I admit it. He was a horrible man. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. It's not David's fault." And David's like, "Damn right, it's not my fault. He owes me anyway. If I would have done it, it would have been much more artsy." And backup arrives, and they escort Alison. And just before they escort her, she turns around and she looks at all four Mavens. She's like, "You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. The midwives will find out. The midwives of the Fragrant Void will find you." and they escort her out and then down and into a police car.
I've got my own incense, thank you.
Well done, Mavens. Well done indeed for finding your suspect. The complication was going to be one of you getting shot, but because of Lane's amazing move, like it ended up being Officer Peterson. I couldn't take that away from Lane. Let's just say, and he's going to regret that. So what I'd just like to do before we finish is just like have like a little scene, like what happens after this has been taken away? Like what happens? Yes, Jay.
I know what me and Blodwin are doing. Do you want to, after all that, should we watch a bit of Jane Fonda and have a constitutional?
I think that would be a good idea. How about the rest of you girls? Do you want to join us?
Who's Jane Fonda?
Teresa missed the 70s, girls.
She's very young.
I was doing a national service.
A different kind of service. Teresa, Grace, what would Teresa or Grace do after a potential successful, albeit with a minor complication, mystery solved? And it could be anything you like. We can do it. Have some scenes with people. You can do whatever you want. Kind of leaving it open.
I think Grace would get her waterproof trousers on and go up to the cliffs to look at the birds. And then in the distance, she hears the heath hane booming away.
Yes!
The mystery extinct bird. That one day she'll capture the proof.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
I think after Blothwyn and Sandra's constitutional, Blothwyn's going to show Sandra the delights that is OkCupid.
You do notice, Blothwyn, that you've got a message on OkCupid from Fisher Guy 43. I couldn't come up with a more comedic name. It's just like I'm just going to pick out like the worst name, and I was thinking about it, and then I couldn't come up with it. My brain was just like, nope. And Fisher Guy 43.
Clam Catcher 69.
Yeah, Clam Catcher 69. Like it's like something like really bad like that. And
what's a terrible surname, Blodwyn? You don't want to marry him. You might be Blodwyn Clam Catcher. Some work, love.
I don't think that's his actual name, Sandra.
Is it not? Whose name is his then?
You see that the message reads, I heard you caught your big fish. I heard you caught a big fish today. Maybe one day you can come with me and catch some more fish. And it's signed E.
So that's what's happened to Elvis.
All right, I'm gonna type back Welsh Tart 69
at AOL.com.
AOL.com, yeah, Welsh Tart 69 at AOL.com. Writes back, only if you promise that only if you promise that things will get a bit wet and wild.
And you send that off into the ether.
I have one I'd like to close us out on, if possible.
Yes.
Sure.
So if anyone else has got any of those they'd like to do beforehand, I've got one I'd like to very much like to close us out on.
I think one thing Sandra will have once Bloodwind's gone off and joined on a date. Saying she'll just have a cigarette, kind of lean back, just the one cigarette she has a day, and just think about the day's event. And yeah,
nice. What would you like to do, Lane?
So as people have kind of filtered off, Grace has gone to find the wheat hen.
The Heath hen.
Fuck! I was close. Bloodwind's gone on a date. Sandra's disappeared off somewhere, and we don't know where she's gone.
Yeah, Grace is also looking out for the provisional IRA, I should have said.
Teresa just steps out over onto the mountains, sits for a while, has a think, sees some people on a mountain path, watches them for a second and goes, "Fuckers, they're going down to my still!" Goes and gets her baseball bat and runs down.
As we kind of close out on Teresa following a bunch of probably innocent tourists. Like with a baseball bat. And they are actually heading like towards yours still, but then they take a path and they kind of like veer off.
Oh, not today, Lucille, not today.
Do you head down to the still anyway?
Yeah, I think so.
Great. Your still is like intact and it's like bubbling away, kind of just in the background, just kind of like you can hear just things just like bubbling away. It's really beautiful. We turn the camera very slowly back away from Teresa enjoying a wee tipple of their own moonshine. And we turn the camera back to Sandra, who's still having a cheeky cigarette in an alleyway somewhere near Brindlewood Bay, somewhere that she can't be seen. Out of the corner of your eye, Sandra, you see a dark-robed figure. The dark-robed figure looms and kind of looks like it's watching you. It doesn't say anything, but it certainly has a presence. You can see it too. All you can see is one small lit end of a cigarette. And it turns around to you and it says, "I thought you'd given up."
Stanley?
You're messing with things, Sandra. Things you don't understand. Things you can't understand. Advise you and your friends to leave Brindlewood Bay as fast as you can. And he wanders into the alleyway and disappears around a corner.
Oh, I've got shivers. Ooh.
Was it Stanley? We'll never know. Or maybe we will. I would like to thank all of my wonderful players. I'd like to thank JC, Jeff, Lane, and Megan for being amazing old people, old ladies, like messing around.
Only 41.
And just kind of really taking this mystery by storm and truly making me laugh like uncontrollably at times. So thank you so much for that. That's been Brindlewood Bay. This has been the final stream for End Youth Homelessness in order to kind of help raise money for 1625 independent people. We have raised over £200 now. We are way above our limit. And if you are watching this on a video on demand, you can still go to the link, which will probably be in the description. I don't know where it's going, but probably in the description. And you can still send some money and we will pass it on to 1625. In the meantime, I've been Chris, your keeper, aka Catharsis Jelly. You can find me on the internet under that name. And if you can't find that, look up Rough Sketch Podcast or Pride Comic Arts Fair or Pride Comic Arts Festival. Sorry, my bad. And you'll find one of my many projects. And until that time happens, I will pass round to our wonderful cast. JC, thank you so much for your drawing. It's incredible, and you've been incredible. Your timing is impeccable. Thank you so much. My stars go out to all of you guys. So if anybody wants to do stars wishes, say goodbye, and leave your relevant details, go for it now. It's all yours.
Yeah, I want to give a big star to you, Chris, for running the adventure and facilitating our fun.
Thank you.
It was really, really great. And I just want to say my RPG campaign, which is in Bristol, if people want to join, it's called Capital RPG on Instagram. And it's coming to podcast soon, hopefully, so keep an ear out for that.
Nice. Any more friends?
I've written it down.
Yeah, also my star also goes out to you, Chris, because this has been great fun. And also, how dare you leave it on yet another cliffhanger when we don't have any more sessions? Because now I want to find out who the Fragrant Void are and, you know, what's Stanley got to do with it and why are there weird purple fish? So so now all those questions be going around in my mind, so thanks for that. And also, yeah, if you like TTRPG, you know, actual plays, then do check out the Explorers of Elsewhere on YouTube. We are starting a new campaign soon, which should be very exciting.
I'd just like to say I'm actually quite scared of the idea of a fragrant void, so I'm going to try and avoid that as much as I can do. I wanted to star. I mean, Chris, you've had loads of stars, so I'm going to star the others. Megan, I really enjoyed the playoff between Blodwyn and I forgot who my character was. Not Susan, Sandra. I really appreciated the kind of the to and fro. Teresa, I appreciated your bold action at the end there to save one of us from certain injury or hip surgery. And JC, Gracie, again, your timing was exquisite, but also I think you best embodied a detective. I felt like you had you really went the extra mile on kind of on the investigation, and I really appreciated that.
No doubt.
You're all right as well, Chris.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
No, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Aside from the handing it off to our wonderful keeper of arcane lore, I'm bringing Call of Cthulhu into this somehow.
Oh yeah, it's happening.
I think my big gold star would be like to go out to Nate for being the background crew. They don't.
Yes.
People like that don't get shouted out enough, and I'll do it.
He's hiding around the corner, probably.
It was incredible playing with everyone. And like Megan said, there's a new campaign going on for Explorers of Elsewhere, and me and her are going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. These videos might be replayed on the Explorers of Elsewhere. I'm handing them all over to DM Dan and just going, here, content. Merry Christmas.
He did say Christmas.
And then walking away from the project until maybe next year. And we might do this all over again. But don't be a stranger. check us out, and we'll be back sooner or later. Until that time, be safe, be happy, be well.
Round of applause for Chris, everyone.
And we will see you again. Nate, click the button.